evening, YouTube. Tonight's mission is to set up my trail cameras. I'll show you here where we camped for the night in Sweden, and really is in the middle of nowhere, nice and quiet. There's a railway line you have to cross, which is a bizarre feeling. It's just a railway line you just cross. No gates, no sirens, no nothing. These are white. So yeah, amazing spot. It is 7:30. The sun is half an hour or so, I think, before it hits the top of those hills. Then I think the mozzies will start going mad. There's no main trails that I can see that I've managed to find. It's all potluck. I would be surprised if I found anything, but you know, if you don't put them out, you never will. So there's a few kind of main paths. I'm assuming they are human footfall, you know, traffic, because of where we parked for the night. So I want to pick a few lines, and I have 3 of them to set up. And I'll tell you a bit more about them at another time. Right, let's set some of these up. Right, the first one I'm going to set up in this tree here, because there's this narrow kind of footpath here, but it's not trodden or wide enough that I don't think that it's coming from humans. So I'm going to set one up here, and a bit of a downwards tilt, and you never know, I might catch something on it. These are the trail cams that I use. They're I used to have a couple of Bushnell ones, which were, you know, much bigger. Had them for kind of 10 years or so, and then when it died, I just thought I'll grab a cheapy one off Amazon for now, keep me going. I think I paid 30 or 40 pounds for them, and I realised that the footage I was getting from these was actually better than I was getting from my Bushnell, mainly because of the age of the Bushnell, which I think was 150 pounds back in the day. But I found these so good that I've ended up buying 3 of them. I run 2 of them off AA's, because usually, a lot of the time, I'm only putting 1 out. And for that, I bought some AA rechargeables. And these are just rechargeables where you just charge them in the side, and you have a 4-gang. You plug all 4 batteries into that, and that goes into a USB. Usually, to be honest, half the time when I've taken them all out and I wanted to charge them, I've just bought my battery bank and charged them all in one go from the battery bank. So they've been used a fair bit already, so much so that I would actually recommend them, and I will stick a link in the description below, and I will probably do a video on the cameras at some point, if not at the end of this video. Anyway, yeah, so I bought 3 of them. I paid, you know, £20 for a plastic box from Amazon as well. So when I'm leaving just 1 out, I'll often use the rechargeables, save using the AA's for another time. So they just run off 4 batteries, and depending on what size memory card you put in will determine how much space it's going to take up. You have the standard kind of on-off setup, and you flick it over to setup, screen comes up, good quality colour screens, you can see what you're doing. Obviously you can change all your settings from video, photo, speed. You can even set the sensitivity of your sensor. So I've set it to medium sensitivity, and at 1080p I've got 4 hours and 80 minutes of footage. Now I can't guarantee that the batteries are going to record for that long, but I do know that I'll set it up in the tree and we'll see what it does. It comes with a buckled strap, which I'm hoping will fit around this tree. And it doesn't. So I was to use a second strap, and I will go and fetch another strap from the van, because I've got plenty of these kind of straps. I always label them. This is number 3. I always label them so I remember which ones I've put where and which one caught what wildlife, hopefully. I will tuck the excess strap away just so it doesn't get in front and set the camera off. Right. And now I've already known my settings. I will just flick that to on. It makes a noise to let me know. Does a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, let's go and set 2 more. Right, I found another similar trail coming through here, so I shall face it towards the sun. This one will have to be on standard AA batteries, because as I mentioned, that the rechargeables I only carry 1 set of, because more often than not it's on one particular thing that I'm trying to film. But today it's just a real pick and mix to see if there is anything out here. I mean, we are in an area of the brown bear and wolf. We've also got some reindeer, but we're a little bit too far south for those now, I think. We just check its all settings are correct. 1080p. Right, that's all good. Yes, we've also got the European wolf as well in this area. So although I know they're few and far between and they don't like noise, I don't think I'm going to get attacked during the night in the van. And I haven't found any signs on any of the paths today. I have found some moose prints earlier, so you never know. I mean, you never know. I will set one up further out and just in the open, just to see if anything higher up catches the camera. Right, let's set this one up. The familiar noise of it setting itself up. Right, let's go and set up this last one. Right, so last one of the 3, and this has literally been set up kind of chest height to catch anything else that we have in the forest. I'm going to face that a bit more north. That is as good a spot as any. I think for it, yep. And the batteries are in. Just check that. For that welcome noise and the filming. And right. That's it. Let's leave them overnight, come back in the morning. Nope. I think I can that way. What an absolutely horrible place to spend the night. Right, good morning. This is always the exciting part. Can never wait to get out and see if the cameras have caught anything. Right. It looks like it's caught something because the light's flashing. Right, we're at the first one. Fingers crossed. No, unfortunately, just me setting it up and picking it up this morning. Okay, let's try the other two. Right, final one. Now, the second one, there was nothing on either. Third time lucky, yeah. There's 9 captures, so that's hopeful. First one is me setting it up, as is the second one. Third one is a few of the branches moving it around, so it's probably just a little bit too sensitive. Yep, branches, 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 and then me collecting it. I mean, it's always a shame if you don't catch anything, but there's been many a night that I haven't caught anything. But for me, it's just as much about the potential, the waiting, the have I got anything, and it's going out and finding the tracks, the signs, the trees, the potential, setting them up, and then for the rest of the day, for the evening, contemplating, pondering on what we may catch on these cameras. Well, last night, 3 cameras and no signs, but it certainly isn't the first night, and it certainly won't be the last. It would have been a bonus to have got some signs, some pictures, some footage, but it's almost a secondary thing for me. The biggest thing is what I've just done last night and the anticipation this morning to see. Never mind, next time. Right, all done, all packed up. Let's head back to the van for some breakfast and a cup of tea, because the first thing I wanted to do was run out here and grab the cameras. This is a beautiful spot. Look behind me. There's a few islands out there too. Nice and close. I'll get the canoe out. Right. Yep, found moose poo, some lingonberries. But that's pretty much it. Like I was saying, never disappointed. There's always next time. So I'll keep putting them out until I get something. Video's not over. Right, next time I see you, I'll be putting these back out. So for me, it could be 2 or 3 days, depending on where we are. But for you, it'll be in a minute. Attempt number 2. Let's see if we can hit the trail cams. Getting old. Left the trail cameras in the van. Right, let's try that again. Parked up. Nice little spot, got a fire on the go. And now I'm heading into the woods. See if I can find any signs of wildlife. And then set up the trail cameras again. Now there is a quite well-worn footpath, but I don't want the footpath. I want the non-footpath that's been made by the wild creatures of the woods. Now we're still in brown bear country, wolf country. We're 5 minutes away from the musk oxens of Sweden, which we're going to go and see tomorrow. But for now, we are camped up. I'm going to do some editing in a bit, but I really wanted to get these cameras set up again. I mean, if I don't see any trails, but I'll still set them up. But I'd really like to find somewhere where I can see there's been activity. Right, let's have a quick wander. Right, well, I found a steep section. I just want to get to the top. There's a nice selection of woodland up there as well, but it's beginning to spit, and I fear, judging by the skies, that it might start raining hard soon. Let's get a move on. I'm not sure I should come back down the same way, that's for sure. Whew. Right. There's a view. Let's have a look amongst the woods here. See if I can find some tracks, some signs, some poop, etc. We found moose poop. It's definitely moose poop, but it's very dry. I know we've just had a bit of rain, and it's got a slight smell to it still. Now, part of me is tempted to take a few of these home and put them in a jar. I'm not sure that would go down too well with the missus, but nonetheless, definite signs that moose are here. Now these mozzies are driving me mad again this evening. They are literally swarming. Okay, onwards and upwards. Now, this is definitely quite ankle breaky, but I have seen a trail that runs down exactly where you are, heading that way. It's too narrow to be human because of where it starts and finishes. I can't see why it would be human. So it's in line pretty much where I found a few more signs of poo. If I was at home, I'd say it looks quite fox-trodden, just in its narrowness of it being parted. It doesn't look big, trodden, like I'd expect from a moose. And I tend to notice that with bunnies or the hare, it's a lot more flattened to its pathway. So it could just be a normal fox. It's not the Arctic fox, not this far down. But I'll show you. You can see just here, it does run up around the bend there. And the other direction, you can see a narrow push line through there. Well, I'm gonna set the first one up about here. I mean, you've already seen me run through what I'm setting up, so I shall just quickly set one up. Number 2, let's do number 1 first. Let's be, oh there, really winding me up today. Right, let's use the rechargeables first. Those mozzies are driving me crazy. They are, God blimey governor. They are in force. In my nose. Oof, they're everywhere. Right, let's double check the settings. 1080p. 3 hours and 40 minutes on this card. Right, you are ready. Let's just set your strap. Right, let's feed you through. I know I don't need to run through the situations again with you, so let's just get her strapped. Nicely tight. I've aimed it nice and low, just in case it is the bunnies, but the hares. But I still think it's possibly fox. Here it's set. Do a countdown. Let's lock it down. That's not just good, it's good enough. Right, on to the next one. Well, I've actually found some big kind of squash marks, kind of that kind of sized, in amongst all these mosses and lichens, and I can't see any actual like prints, because it's just squashing these kind of round holes. And because they're round holes, I'm hoping that they are moose. And it seems quite consistent. Don't know if you can really make them out, but there's a good one there. There's a good one there. There's a good one there. And if I do the same with my feet next to them, it's like not as wide, but much longer, obviously, because it's foot shaped. But I'm hoping it's moose. And as I did find the moose poo up there, I found I think 4 lots in total that I think, I mean, none of them were, today fresh, but definitely fresh enough to show there's signs around here. So I'm going to set one up on the tree here, and then I think I'll set one up just further down there, just have a little bit of coverage for the area. Right, let's get this one done. If you want to change the angle, you can always wedge a stone or a stick directly behind it. And now we're facing a little bit downhill, and that's not going anywhere. Right, another one ready. Let's go and set up the last one. Last one, and you've seen me set these up. These are a great holder for batteries. Bright orange, you won't lose them. They hold the batteries lovely. It's just all to make life a bit easier. Right, this area is really covered in these little muzzies. So I want to try and get this done as quick as possible. This one is almost down by the water's edge, a lot further down than the first one. Again, 1080p, 4 hours and 16 minutes on this card. Battery health is still pretty good. And this is a big wide track here, a big wide path. So I'm really hoping it's the moose. And also notice that it comes from towards the lake. So I think I'm going to set it right up here. That's the last one done. Now, let's get away from these mozzies. It is 7:37, so another couple of hours till it's dark, and then my alarm goes off at 8, and I will be straight over to retrieve them, see what's on them. Right, good morning. It is 8:30. The temperature is 6 degrees this morning. At 8:30, sun's out, still 6 degrees. The temperature here changes really quick. We are, I can't remember the date, I put it here, and it's still changed this quick. At home in the UK, it's probably glorious warm sunshine already. Now I'm trying to remember. Right, in the woods here, I think. Always very excited to see if anything's been caught, so let's open this one up and check it out. Right. I'll unstrap it so I can get a decent proper view. Right, that's me collecting it. Me setting it up and leaving. Unfortunately, I'm not on this one. But I'm not surprised really. This is just, usually I'd like to be able to concentrate on an area for a few days and leave them out, give it a few days. I'm sure I turned it off. But yeah, make sure I've given it a few days. But I don't have that luxury currently. We are travelling, so I'd only get the chance to have one night. But usually I'd leave them out for 2 or 3 days at least. Right, let's move on to the second one, which I can just see over there. It rained quite heavy last night for a while. Nope, nothing on this one, I'm afraid, either. Okay, well, let's try the third one. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting to catch anything because it's just one night. And this is the last one of the 3. Oh, let's turn it off. Let's have a look. There's only 3, and I'm sure that's me setting them up and collecting them. Yeah, well, that's all 3 again. Second night, but like I said, I've not had time to just leave them in one area for a while. But you know, it is what it is. The excitement each night doesn't change. Each night I do it, so we'll just keep on trying. You know, that's the fun, that's the anticipation of setting these trail cameras up. Well, let's put them away and head back for some breakfast. Right, well, we're heading off to see the musk oxen today in Sweden, and because we are that close to the borders of Norway where we are, I think we're gonna drive back over to Dovefjell National Park, where there's wild musk oxen, and I'm gonna spend a few days seeing if I can find those and photograph them. So if there's opportunities, I'll set the trail cameras up there too. I'll see you in 3 or 4 days, but for you it'll be the blink of an eye. So here we are, these little trail cameras, and as I mentioned in the video, these were to replace a Bushnell camera, trail camera, that I'd used for many years. These are 4 batteries instead of 8, much longer lasting, much lighter, much smaller. Now, as you know, as you've seen from the video, I didn't actually catch any wildlife on them. I will show you some footage here that I caught on the trail cams in the garden with the foxes and the cub, just to show you the quality that you can get from these cameras. Now, I bought these in June last year. They were, or are, 24 megapixel and a 1080p video. The new versions of them, as these aren't available anymore, are 36 megapixel and 2K footage. I'll stick a link for the new versions in the description below, and all I can really see is that they've changed the internals, giving the upgraded megapixel and 2K footage. These were a very straightforward machine. You just have to flick it to set up, and then it gives you the screen, and you press the menu. You can run through any of the settings between video, photos, and you have an OK button to confirm. You can scroll down through resolution, series, video resolution, video length, audio recordings. There's a lot of options on here. To see what you've previously recorded, you just press the play button, and then you can scroll through all of your videos. Me mucking around with the camera there. And then to view it, just press the OK button, and there you have me collecting the trail cameras on the 3rd night that I haven't shown in the video because I didn't want it to just be dragging out too long. So once you've got your settings, menu goes back, press the play button to come back out. So once you're in your setting mode, happy with all your settings, you just flick it to on. You'll then see a countdown on the screen to tell you that it's about to start recording through the motion sensors. The only other thing to mention is the batteries, which were 26 100 milliamp watt hours, and they were £16 on Amazon. They do 4 packs, 8 packs and a 12 pack, which gets slightly cheaper for the more you buy. But like I said, I use one set of 4 and then Duracells for the other 2 if I'm going to use them. I tend to use at least 2 of them these days, so I'll probably invest in another pair. Now the only other thing that I think is worth mentioning are these little battery holders, and at £8 for the case, I think they're definitely worth having. It stops them getting all clustered together. It keeps these 4 batteries to go with that camera. If you've had Duracells in and you've got a handful of them, and some have been used a lot, some haven't, you start mixing up which are the really good batteries with the not so goods. So these are definitely worth purchasing. These are £8, and there will also be a link in the description below. I hope that this has been some help in making you decide on whether you want some trail cameras or not. The only other thing I should have mentioned is the SD card sits in the side. It doesn't come with one, so you will need to purchase them, but you can get them for £8 to £10. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below. So, hope it helped. Great, inexpensive, good quality, light, small trail cams that give good footage day and night. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.